Here's your leaderboard after 39 laps. Steve Grissom, Chuck Bound, Kenny Wallace, Butch Miller, and Bobby Dotter. And the cars are not at speed because we are under caution again for the third time. Before we show you what happened, let's go down to pit road and Bill Hennessy.
Question about Chuck Bound's car. His car may be knocked out of toe in on the front end due to that encounter with slow traffic in the earlier portion of the race. Right now, here's Ricky Pearson. Ricky, 59 car, spent a lot of time on the pit lane here. What's wrong with Robert Presley?
I believe the rear seal was leaking in the transmission. Blowing grease out on the tailpipe and the smoking, and NASCAR don't approve that.
Looks like you may have just had a temporary repairs for trying to put some silicone in it.
Well, we tried to stop it any way we can.
Well, this man's back out there hoping for a good finish.
We'll be going back to green in less than a lap as Mike Harwood's telling the field to form back up. The reason for that latest caution, caution number 3 on lap 39, was for a spin in turn 1 by Jeff Gordon, a rookie driver who had a great run last week at Lanier, Georgia, at the Lanier Speedway in Gainesville, Georgia, second place. He's back at the tail end of the field, as at the front of the field, Steve Grissom continues to be our race leader, as he has been from the drop of the green, and Chuck Bound, as he has the entire event so far, hounding his rear bumper.
Yeah, Bound's putting a lot of pressure on him right now. He had fallen back before that first caution period, but I believe he had an encounter with some slower traffic that knocked him back there. Grissom was able to pull away to about a 20-car length lead, but right now, Chuck Bound's giving him all he wants.
On the most recent restart, the one before this, Dave Rezendes was sitting up there in the 4th position, but he has had some trouble. He is dropping well back in the field. We'll see if we can't get a report for you on that, but look who has closed in now. Kenny Wallace is making it a 3-car battle up front. Busch Grand National points leader, the 3rd place car, car number 36, that's the black and green machine. Your leader in that cream-colored car, car number 31, Steve Grissom.
Wallace had an amazing string earlier this year. He had 4 races in which he didn't finish out of the top 3, including a big victory that you saw here on TNN at Volusia County. Right now, he's hanging in there right on the back bumper of Chuck Bound, who's steaming up the rear view mirror of Steve Grissom. That's a tight 3-car pack, and they've broken away by some 10 car lengths over the 4th place car of Butch Miller.
Mark, it's interesting to watch the technique that the drivers are using, particularly that front 3. Steve Grissom's car is getting off the corner a little bit better than Chuck Bound's. Chuck's getting into the corners a little better, so Steve's car looks to be just a tiny bit loose getting in. It'll be interesting to watch him as the race progresses, the tire temperatures continue to heat up, to see if he can keep that thing stable, keep it out front.
Sitting back there in the 4th position is Butch Miller, then it's Bobby Dotter, Troy Beebe, Jeff Burton, Todd Bodine, Ed Ferree, and trouble on the front stretch, but nothing to bring out a caution as Richard Lassiter was involved. And Glenn, I think you had a good angle on that.
Lassiter got loose and hit the outside wall, and he's got white chalk marks or white paint marks all the way down the right side of his car, which is considerably flatter now than it was before.
And the race leader will be encountering lap traffic here in just a moment. Some of the cars that are running slow, the car he's about to come up on is Jeff Gordon, the rookie contender.
Gordon just popped the wall in turn 4, did exactly the same thing as Richard Lassiter. That will definitely, finally, it will get him down a lap. It will cost him any shot at winning this afternoon.
Well, absolutely. Now, as you're talking, Mark, he has to pull the number 1 Ford onto pit road. He's had nothing but trouble since the start of this race, and he found out real early here in South Boston that if you get out of that bottom groove, you're going to meet with the wall real quickly.
And notice coming off turn 4, Glenn, how loose the race leaders' cars are. And those are the cars that are handling well.
Yeah, they're the ones that are up front now, and they've got their hands full. I tell you, 300 laps around this place in the dead of the afternoon under a very warm May sun is not the ideal way to run a race. It's bad enough to run 200 laps here. 300 laps in this heat, there's going to be a lot of action before this day's over.
There's Chuck Bound still trying to hold off Kenny Wallace. That's a great battle. Wallace, the current point leader, Bound, the defending champion. As they go at it, working out of turn 4, Grissom has started to sneak away a little bit again.
Yeah, this is what happened last time that they ran for 15 or so laps under green without a caution. Grissom's car was able to build up a lead, and he started doing that again. His car seems to be working in traffic, and now you see him going around car number 28. He gets sideways. If you get the slightest little bit out of the groove here, there's so much dirt and debris up in the outer lanes that the car just simply goes away from you. You have no control whatsoever.
And the driver in car number 28 is Mike Oliver, whom we've documented before, who's having all kinds of trouble both with the race leaders and the racetrack itself.
Steve Grissom just popped the back end of the Richard Lassiter car. That car severe damage now to the left front. Whether that is just cosmetic or whether that is going to be a bigger problem for him, we'll have to wait and see. And in that scramble, Kenny Wallace takes over the 2nd spot. Chuck Bound is dropped to 3rd.
Yeah, there's considerable damage. You can see the damage to the right front of Grissom's car when he comes back around and crossing the start-finish line, our camera view will give you a good point of it. It looks like the bumper has been torn about half away, so have to keep a close watch on that.
But as we watch it go by, we're looking to see if there's any sheet metal rub on that right front tire, and we don't detect any at this point. The margin between the front three cars back to the second pack is almost 4 seconds, and it's getting bigger. We'll be back with more action from South Boston in just a moment. Continuing coverage of the Carquest Auto Parts Stores 300 on TNN is being brought to you by New Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Well, it seems that just about any time that we need a caution, all we have to do is go to commercial, because while we were in that break, Tommy Houston popped the wall coming off turn 4. A pretty good look and a considerable amount of damage to the right side of his machine. They've already changed 2 tires.
Shades of Hickory, the last time we were on TNN for the Busch Grand National Series from Hickory Motor Speedway. Houston had a good run, and by race's end, though, the wheels had been literally knocked off that Rose's Buick, and he, I believe, lost a lap and has a lot of damage that certainly is going to affect the handling of that race car.
Yeah, that's a real tough break for Tommy, Mark, because he was coming on strong. He'd started kind of back in the pack. He and car number 11, Jack Ingram, had really marched toward the front, had worked their way up into top 10 positions, but his encounter with the wall has ended his chances to win here today, I believe.
So far, we've had 4 cautions, and we've completed just 64 laps. If you're wondering, just for the record, the most cautions ever in a Grand National race is 18. When we were at Hickory in our last race, we thought we had a real good chance of breaking that record. We got a long way to go here this afternoon, and this is something, frankly, we expected with the number of inexperienced drivers here and the hot afternoon here as we're back under green once again. And the scars on the race leader don't appear to be serious enough to cause him any problems. And now, as that second machine is Dave Resendiz, he is a lapped car. He is standing between the race leader and the second place car of Kenny Wallace. Third is Chuck Bound. The fourth place car is Tommy Houston, but he is a lap down. Actually, the fourth place machine is under the right foot of Butch Miller.
And Miller has run a steady race up to now. You see Grissom leading the pack off. The orange car there, number 79, is Resendez, or the red car is Resendez. He made a big, bold move there on that restart. He was a lap down in the outside lane. He dove right behind Grissom. I thought Kenny Wallace might tangle with him a little bit, but so far he's been able to pull away from Wallace.
He had made